Welcome to the Family Dynasty podcast, where legacy meets leadership. I'm your host, Matt Doing, family guide, business advisor, and believer in generational purpose. Our aim is to inspire and equip you to lead your family so that together you will experience compounding wealth in all 7 capitals through the generations. Each week we uncover timeless wisdom, cultural dynamics, and practical tools to help you lead with vision, live with intentionality, and build a flourishing family that multiplies in impact. Let's get to work. The dynasty starts now. Welcome to today's solocast. I want to start today by saying something very clearly. I love the ministries of Focus on the Family, Family Life, and other family ministries. I grew up listening to Focus on the Family. Their voice was part of the soundtrack of my childhood. My marriage and I have benefited immensely from their teaching and resources through the years. And ever since back in college as a student leader with Crew, Family Life has deeply shaped my walk with Christ and my vision for family. Janice and I have attended Family Life's Weekend to Remember events multiple times. And every time we have walked away sharpened, enriched, and renewed. We've also been financial supporters of their ministry, and we remain so grateful for their impact. I also want to honor the Legacy Coalition and similar ministries calling grandparents to intentionality. These organizations have done and continue to do vital work. And let me say this right up front. Nothing I'm about to share is meant as a critique to any of them. Family Dynasty is not in conflict with any family ministry. Rather, we're standing on their shoulders, building on the foundation they each have laid. For much of my life, I thought of family as a single plant, not a garden. If you water it, feed it, and protect it from weeds, that plant grows tall and strong. That was my picture. A healthy marriage, children who grew up well, and then at 18 or so, each child gets transplanted somewhere else to start their own plant. And honestly, that's how much of Christian family conversation has been framed. Ministries like Focus and Family Life have done a beautiful job helping us nurture those plants. And I'm deeply thankful. But here's what I didn't realize until later in life. God's vision for family is not just about individual plants. It's about the whole garden. Think about a garden. The roots of a different plant intertwine. The shade of one tree protects the saplings beneath it. The fruit of one vine enriches the soil for another. A garden is all about abundance. It's an ecosystem. That's the fuller biblical vision of family, a household. Not just a nuclear unit, but grandparents, parents, nieces, nephews, aunts and uncles, and even employees if you have them, all living and working together under one canopy. Not just a plant, but a garden that compounds fruit across generations. When that vision first hit me, I felt 2 things. One, exhilaration because the garden is so much more glorious than I had ever imagined. But secondly, sadness because it took me nearly 50 years to see the blueprint that God had woven into scriptures all along. Here's another picture. For years, I felt like I was walking through different rooms of a great house. Ministries like those I've mentioned earlier have each created a vital room, a warm living room where marriages are nurtured, a nursery where children are discipled, a kitchen where recipes for relational thriving are prepared and served, or a sitting room where grandparents are honored. Each room is good, needed, and inviting. But here's the thing. I thought family meant thriving inside one room. I didn't realize God's blueprint was not a room, but the whole house. All the rooms under one roof. A household, multi-generational, multi-layered, appreciating their history, working and flourishing together, and as an extended family economy in the present, and together envisioning the future for generations yet unborn. Again, that shift was exhilarating and sobering. Exhilarating because the house is so much larger than I had dreamed. Sobering because I wished someone had handed me the blueprint decades earlier. Here's the reality. You get what you aim for. Aiming for a thriving marriage? That's a good aim. Aiming for strong, independent children? That's a good aim. Aiming to be a nurturing grandparent or to leave a legacy? All good aims. But the question is there something higher, more comprehensive, more enduring, more kingdom aligned? I believe there is. God's kingdom pattern of already not yet helps us see it. Have you given that reality much thought? How the kingdom of God is already here and at the same time not yet fully here? Think of a wedding day. The covenant is already sealed, but the potential of what that marriage might produce is not yet fulfilled. So think back to the Old Testament story of Abraham and Sarah. They were as good as dead, and yet from their union came nations. They are the archetype for Family Dynasty. God works not merely through individuals, but through households. When we shrink our vision down to the nuclear family, we cut short what God intends. We think in terms of single handoffs instead of generational compounding. Let me say it this way. The proven power of a focused life is multiplied exponentially in a focused family that compounds its influence across generations. Now, let me say that again. There's proven power, no doubt, in one focused life. But there is an even greater, exponentially multiplied power in a focused family that compounds its wealth and influence across generations. One person wholly devoted to God can alter the course of history. Think of Joseph in Egypt, or Esther in Persia, or Paul in Rome. But a devoted household? That multiplies. A life ends, but a lineage endures. A voice may cry out for a generation, but a family line becomes a chorus for centuries. A focused life is a spark, but a focused family is a bonfire, one that lights the present and passes embers forward so the flame never dies out. Now, here's the question. Once you see this vision, once you catch the vision, then what? Some of you are in families already structured this way, tight-knit, trusting, generational. For you, the leap into dynastic intent may feel natural. Others hear this vision and feel deflated. Maybe your kids are already grown, scattered, and living independent lives. Or maybe your parents and grandparents are absorbed in their own pursuits. It maybe feels too late or impossible or too painful to try. But wherever you are, hear me. If God's Spirit is stirring vision in your heart, do not quench it. He is the God of the impossible. So what do you do with the vision? Let me give you 5 steps here just to think about. First, when you have caught the vision and you say, now what? The first thought I want to give you is find community. Don't try to carry this vision alone. You need people who share it and can strengthen it. We have needed this as a family desperately, and we've been so grateful to have found it. And we at Family Dynasty intend to be part of the solution for creating community for those who are embracing a dynastic family vision. Second, start the conversation with your family strategically. Vision can be rejected if it's pushed too hard or shared too clumsily. Think carefully about what will connect with your family members and your family at large. Thirdly, what to do with this vision is do not despise small beginnings. Your mustard seed today can grow into a dynasty tomorrow. That starting point may look tiny, but it can grow beyond your imagination. Fourthly, discern and develop your family mandate, or think your family mission statement. Every family has a God-given purpose. Ask together, for what reason has God placed our bloodline on earth? And then fifthly, get equipped. That's why we created the Family Dynasty Launch Course. This course is an 8-module guide to walk you step by step through culture, strategy, and structures that sustain dynastic flourishing. Friend, you get what you aim for. If you aim for a strong marriage, you'll likely get it. If you aim for a thriving nuclear family, you may achieve it. But if you aim for a dynasty, a household that multiplies its faith, wealth, and influence for generations, then you are aligning yourself with God's blueprint for family from the beginning. So don't stop at the plant. Don't settle for the room. See the garden. See the house. See the dynasty. The question is, when you get the vision for Family Dynasty, what then? What will you do today to begin living into that vision? Well, may God bless you as he guides you in his truth and teaches you his ways.
Thanks for joining us on the Family Dynasty podcast, where legacy is built, not just inherited. If today's episode helped you lead your family with greater vision or purpose, share it with someone else who's building a legacy that lasts. And remember, you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. Deuteronomy 8:18. Keep building with faith, leading with love, and living for impact. Your family is your greatest calling.